So we're told that the manufacturer of watches has determined from experience that 3% of the watches it produces are defective. If the random of 200 watches is examined, what's the probability that the proportion defective is between 2% and 3.5%? So to start with, our mean is 3%, you put in the middle. It's asking you to find between 2% and 3.5%. So our standard deviation or standard error has to be calculated. For proportion, it is what? PQ over N is square root. Our P is 3%, our Q meaning is 97% over N, sample size 300. So this will give us our sample output variance or standard deviation, which is 0.98%.
Collins, just a moment before you proceed. Yes, this is the formula that I was talking about, PQ over N for
Yes.
standard deviation. Then there's also square root of NPQ.
This is standard error. There are only two standard errors.
Okay.
The standard error, which is given by the sample, which is standard deviation over square root of N. The standard error for the proportions, which is given by PQ and square root everything. That's all.
Or standard error for proportions.
Yes.
Okay.
So after finding the standard error, we know Z is given by what? Z is what? Z has two formulas. Z for a sample is X minus mu over what? The standard error. If you're using standard deviation, or P minus what? P hat minus P over standard error. So in this case, we have what? 3%. Then here we have what? 2%. And here we have what? 3.5%. So looking at the proportion within here. All right. So our standard error here is what? 98%. Knowing the percentage we want to find this lower bound, we're going to have what? 2% minus what? Minus 3% divided by 0.98. We can know the percentages in that case. So the lower bound will give you negative 1.02. The upper bound here is what? 3.5 minus what? 3% divided by 0.98. So here, when you divide that, you're going to get our answer as 0.59 positive. So meaning you now read them from the table. This would what? Negative what? Negative 1.02. This would what? 0.51. So what figures are we going to get when you go into the table? Check under 0. It is 0.102. That is 0.1.
Mama, never consider for if you feel it if you course.
Okay, 1.02. So you go under 1.0 and under 2. 0, 1, 2 to get here. 15,386. This is what? 15,386. Then the other one here, 0.51. We go under 0.5 and under 1. 0.5 under 1. This is 69, 49, 7. 69, 49, 7. 69, 49, 7. Can you find the difference between this bigger, this smaller percentage? So this is how this was supposed to be done. And I think we found 0.5411. All right.
Then the question on D.
Yes, what was the question on D?
The question was when I was going through the solutions,
Mhm.
I discovered that for the final, is it the final analysis? We just did is it 0.02 minus 0.05. Why didn't you also consider the 10%?
Part D,
Yes.
the difference between 10% and 5%. Here we're using a put variance of the proportion. So after calculating the differences in there, we're looking at an interval between what? What is the probability that the difference between the sample is less than 0.02? So here, we are told that 10% of the machines produced by machine A are defective and 5% are defective by machine B. The random sample of 25 to 250 was taken from machine A, 300 was taken from machine B. What's the difference between sample proportion? What is the probability that the difference in the sample proportion is less than 0.02? So I don't know where you got mixed up.
On the final answer, after we find the 0.0228, right?
Yes.
And now on the final analysis, we did now 0.02 minus 0.05. Why did we choose 0.05?
This is
and not the 10%. Why do we leave out the 10%? Because what I had done on my own was first find the 0.02 minus 0.05 and 0.02 minus 0.1, then yeah. So why did we ignore that one?
No, we didn't ignore it. It's a difference between these two, 10% minus 5%.
Oh, okay. All right, okay.
So
Mr. Collins, is it possible you can go through this question?
No, this one I don't want to go through it. I don't want you to get confused. So if you're going to lose marks for this one, better you lose the at the expense of forgetting the others. It was a complex one.
Yeah, that's the strategy I've adopted, guys. For this one, I've tried to understand the concept, but I think I'll just ignore it if it comes.
Please.
Just concentrate on the others. Otherwise, you mess up on the rest.
You mess up on the rest. What I've tried.
I'm not doing this.
But this one you can try if it comes. But here, risk the marks, just memorize the answer 0.0934 chapter. Right. I don't want to.
We have memorized answers to the activities.
This one is even difficult to memorize the procedure because we get up mixed up.
Yeah, that one we just leave it out.
All right. Otherwise, thank you so much for your time. Maggie,
We're not going to go through activity 4.
I sent activity 4. It's the simplest of the videos I've sent.